Hello YouTubers, welcome to your favorite new video podcast, the one you didn't even know about, the one that is not even titled yet. We are still the Untitled Podcast.
That's right.
My name is Justin Bright. I'm flanked to my right by Zach Dickerson.
Hello.
John Allen. And the man with the plan, Trevor Baldwin.
Nice to meet you.
Now, the formula for this show is based off the Game Over Greggy show, where we, as a group of friends who all met...
Friends.
We all met at work together, I guess.
We're work friends.
Yeah.
We're that kind of friends.
Work
friends.
friends.
Yeah.
Well, we all got together because this guy right here opened up a website, sadisticpixel.com. Check it out. Write articles, make videos. These guys make amazing videos.
Justin writes amazing articles.
Awesome articles.
I don't, but thank you. But anyway, what we do, we just talk about mostly gaming culture, movies, nerdy stuff. I guess mostly just gaming and movies because...
Anything you can think of.
Yeah, anything you can think
We'll
of.
branch out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want to forget them even though they're not here with us like right now.
Absolutely.
Other writers on our site, Benjamin Logan, Kevin Moore, thank you guys for being awesome. Hopefully one
You
day
guys
we
rock. I wish you guys could be here.
Yeah, hopefully one day you guys can be on. Not like that. They're still alive.
I got
Rest in peace.
got to pull one out for my homies. Oh,
But
wait.
shout out to you guys. I'm going to get you on the show one of these days. I mean, basically the format of the show is based over the Game Over Greggy show. They're a big inspiration to me. I love the way
Same
that they
here.
just sit around the table and talk about whatever. They have such good chemistry with one another, and that's what we're wanting to build here. That's the foundation of the show. And so I figured we'd start going around the table and kind of give a slow little bio about ourselves. And so we'll start with old Zach Dickerson over there.
Always start with me.
Zach, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm just your average Joe who likes to play video games.
Deja vu.
And I make videos for the site, mostly gaming videos or sometimes long videos, sometimes short, which got a short video in the workings with Buddy John.
He has some amazing Five Nights at Freddy's videos that everyone needs to check
You
out.
should check them out.
Which hopefully I'll have that finished pretty soon. I think I'm left off on part 4.
I think so. Yeah, 4 sounds right.
I think it was part 4.
You're not for you.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to get that finished as well as working on the small little video now, which I will get that out as try to finish that this weekend. Probably work on, well, I don't know if I'll be able to work on it some today because we got a lot of stuff planned here for today.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
Well, I'm taking a lot of time, so I'm going to move on. Leave it to John over here.
Okay, well, I'm John. I run the Facebook. We all collectively run the Twitter. And
We own Twitter.
we own Twitter.
I wish we owned Twitter. We wouldn't be sitting around this
We'd have a lot.
this
We'd have a
cheap
lot to
table
do.
that's going to collapse in on itself eventually.
I write articles sometimes. They're not good.
He had to sneak that in
Okay,
there.
I'm going to stop everybody right now. Everything that everybody does at this table is great, and it's something that I can't do. So you guys need to stop being Mr. Negatives over here and just get on with the bios.
I'm from Mississippi. I got that heavy, or not heavy. It's an accent that's kind of not like theirs. Been up here a while. I've known him longer than I've known him, but they've been my friends since high school. Justin's been my friend since work, and we're
Since work. Not even a timer, just since work.
Yeah, just since work.
I don't know if that's a positive thing that I became your friend at
Not work friends.
Work.
Work friends are good though.
Well, yeah, they become best friends.
Yeah,
and
I
all
mean-
these people at my table,
Yeah, John's table. Nobody else's. Justin
are
did
my
that.
best friends, and I'm gonna move on because I feel like I'm taking. a long
No,
time.
you're not. I was just aggravating Zach because it's like my favorite thing to do in the whole wide world. He could have finished his bio. So I guess that means the biography is on to me. And I am Justin Bright. I'm the old guy of this group. The old man.
What ifs? He's not that old.
He's
I am.
37.
I might as well just be
At
I might as
least.
well just be walking with a cane right now. Anyway, I've been playing video games since I was about 2 or 3 years old. These guys allowed me to be a part of this awesome group. I met them all at work.
At the work.
At the work. And I just want to hang out, play video games, talk about video games, and that's what we want to give to you guys. It's just like a group of friends hanging out. And I'm going to give you over to the man with the plan, the guy that makes everything happen.
I don't know about that.
The
Trevor
beautiful
Baldwin, who I
Trevor
just
Baldwin.
clawed his
That's all
shoulder.
right.
I'm sorry.
Break it happen.
Well, hello everybody. I'm Trevor Baldwin. You may already know that if you've seen any of our videos. You've probably heard my voice before. So here's a face to put behind that if you're ever interested. You may not be. Who knows? But I'm 21 years old, going on 22. Just started up a website one weekend, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, this guy is the reason I'm even a part of this. So I thank him, and I thank these guys for even including me and teaching me how to do all
Justin
this.
thanks us a lot, but it wouldn't be happening without the rest of everybody else. I mean, I wouldn't be very far. So.
Kevin and Ben.
Kevin and Ben, absolutely. Thank you guys.
You guys are
For all
awesome.
you
I just
do.
made a weird face, so that's going to be fun.
I'm sure we're going to go, you're pretty
Well,
good.
for our first podcast,
Yeah.
my nose is
Yeah.
already bleeding, so
Great.
that's what I'm trying to contain that.
So you're seeing history happen right now.
Yeah.
The nosebleed that
History
started
in
a
the making.
revolution.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be with us.
Almost as
next
good as a
time.
shot heard around the world,
Almost.
right?
Yeah.
Almost.
Remember when I could
Lexington
actually
Concord?
speak before the podcast started?
Yeah, you get that camera. The camera gets in front of you, and
I know,
everything
it's
gets
just
messed
like,
up. Your throat
oh,
gets dry.
Yeah, my heart's beating.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, with the format of the show, it's just a bunch of guys sitting around. We all pick a different topic.
Aye.
Thanks, Greg. And
Love you, Greg.
we just talk about whatever. We have pre-generated topics.
I mean, there's no
Random.
quotations about it. I mean,
No
we-
random order. I just want to keep doing this because my fingers are freezing right now.
Yeah, you
We're in the
gotta
middle.
try to stop it from going still.
I know we're in the middle of an abandoned house,
It's about
Yeah.
negative 30 in here.
but it's great. I love it.
This
Every
is
minute
this
of
is
it.
this is the epitome of what we're about. We're amateurs, and we're gonna become professionals, but we're still probably gonna be in a creepy old house.
Yeah, but that's part of it.
Yo,
I thought that was on
Zach's
the
about to take off the Eon flute.
yeah. If
I gotta
anything
get
happens,
Latios.
Latios came and took Zach off.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, we're gonna go around the table, pick our topics to start with, and it could be anything from anything to everything to everything to anything.
Okay, sounds good.
So today we're gonna
Anything.
start
So
with
it's
you.
crazy. I think I'm up first.
Really?
Yeah, I'm up first.
John Allen.
Okay.
Taking charge.
No.
Okay. No.
You're
I'm
up
not
to
ready
bat. What's your topic?
yet. My first topic for today is, we're gonna start off with something lighthearted for everybody. If you had to choose whether to live with the technology that we have today, not like futuristic technology or anything, would you rather go and live underwater, like in the ocean? Maybe not necessarily too deep or anything, but just however you want to do it. Or would you rather be shot up in space and live in space?
Okay, so I have a question about that topic.
And I probably want to answer it.
Okay, that's fine. You have every right not to. If we're living underwater, is it like a floating bubble underwater? Like, how does that work?
I guess technically.
It's like the
yeah.
Gungans living under the bottom of Naboo. Can we be as cool as those guys? Like
Well,
Jar Jar?
Do you think we could do that with current technology, Justin?
Well, see, I was thinking like the way I'm thinking about living underwater is back in SpongeBob SquarePants days.
In a
you just-
pineapple?
Like a dome is.
Oh,
a
yeah,
dome,
like Sandy,
like
yeah.
Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're living under a dome that has no airflow somehow, but somehow she's
I need
still-
some references.
Well, actually, she has a tree.
Wait, what's-
Okay,
Sandy
Cheeks is a squirrel that lives underwater in Bikini Bottom.
She's a
And-
scientist.
I feel like you're making stuff up right now.
I might
No.
be.
He's not.
But
It's all
she
real.
has a dome that she lives under, and I just realized all my life I've thought, how did she get air down there? Because there's no air tanks, there's no connections to the surface. I just realized she has a giant tree in the middle of her dome that makes oxygen. And I just realized that.
And
So there you
SpongeBob
go.
goes on a date with her, and then she hibernates for a long time. So I know what you're talking about.
There's a lot of sexual tension between Sandy and SpongeBob.
There is a lot of sexual tension in SpongeBob SquarePants in
Yeah.
general. That show is very inappropriate.
Yeah, it
But
really
so is Ren and
is.
Stimpy, and it's the same guys.
Okay.
I miss Ren and Stimpy.
So,
Yes.
So which one?
I would live underwater. Absolutely. I have a fascination with the ocean. I want to
Yeah,
know.
they-
I mean, I love space. I believe it or not.
Who doesn't love space?
I mean, I would absolutely pick underwater because, it would, I guess, be easier to go to surface if I needed to, than coming down, from the atmosphere. But I love space. I'll be the first one to volunteer to go into a black hole when that is available to see what happens.
McConaughey already did that. So.
Yeah.
You know what
that's
happens.
right. Yeah, but definitely underwater for me because I want to know what's under the ocean.
shouldn't
We don't even know
figure
what's
that,
we don't even know what's in the
We
ocean.
don't at all.
And I feel like we should know that before we even think about exploring more space. But
The problem is right now we're not making advancements in either front. I mean,
exactly.
Well, yeah, because we can't fund either front.
I know. James Cameron, who is one of the greatest movie directors of all time, is like the only one who wants to go out in the middle of the ocean, just drop down there, and he's gonna wind up probably killing himself. I hope not. You still gotta make Battle Angel, James Cameron. Get done with these Avatar movies already.
Yeah.
But anyway,
He could drop some fat cash into some funds research.
dude, he's
Yeah.
got so much money. But I mean, I guess with me, I'm gonna be the cliche one of the group, I guess, and say I would rather go into space because it is a sad, sad testament that we have not been to the moon since the early 70s.
Oh.
Apollo, what Apollo was
Apollo-
it? 15 or 16?
Yeah. 15.
I mean, I may just be
I think.
making those numbers up. I have no idea.
Or wait, was it 13?
No, we went past 13. But anyway,
I don't know.
I mean, the
Apollo
technology
11 didn't make it.
the technology that's advanced since, in 40 years is just it's a sad state that we have not even been to Mars yet. I mean, we should be studying
Well,
some
humans
of those,
haven't been to Mars yet.
maybe we have. And then we
Maybe.
came here.
Maybe we came from Mars. Yeah.
Mhm.
Prometheus.
We just made it to Pluto.
Pluto's not a planet
we went to the
anymore.
system. We made it to the system.
Like the satellite will be there in July, so we're gonna have our
Okay,
first
yeah.
actual images of what Pluto looks like. But anyway,
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
I mean, it's like seriously the last real frontier, and I mean, we should already have like moon bases and things like that set up. We should be
I
going to
agree.
some of those moons like Jupiter, like Europa and Io and things like. I don't think Io's anyway, but anyway.
Well, we gotta fund stuff like wars.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
hoping when they.
Well, I'm just space.
Space.
I'm
The
hoping
final
when
frontier.
we get the
Final
images
frontier.
from Pluto, there's actually life there, and they're just saying, "Hey, remember us?"
Yeah.
We're a dwarf planet now.
Yeah, thanks for that. Remember we were the ninth planet from the sun?
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
You
America,
guys cannot land here.
America. Why is it always American,
Yeah,
Zach?
Yeah, Zach.
because it's
Thank-
land of the free. You know what? I'm going to be America's representative now.
Well, if it was land of the free, then we can say Pluto is a planet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Pluto is my planet. I own Pluto.
Zach, where do you want to go?
Where would you go?
I'd have to say space as well.
Space.
The reason being is that, yes, we're space brothers now.
Space Brothers.
Well, you're about to have 3 because I wouldn't go underwater.
I like, the ocean, everything underwater, as much as the next guy. Probably you. I guess you're the next
Yeah,
guy.
I'm the next guy.
But I've just been more fascinated with space and
Yeah.
all this stuff. Like, I want to believe that there is some kind of life out there.
There
absolutely is
has
life
to
out
be.
there.
I
Has
mean,
to
just
be.
considering how massive the universe, there's got to be something. Now, whether that be life that is intelligent as us, or something,
Some kind of microorganism.
yeah, just
Yeah.
something like that. I would like to know what it is and where it is.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I would
living in
too.
space, maybe a higher chance of discovering what that is, depending on where you live
Yeah.
in space.
Also, if you stay around here, there'll be a higher chance of cancer because of all those, the sun's radiation. But I'd rather die more.
Global
than-
warming isn't real.
Don't let Al Gore fool you.
No.
Yeah, I'd like to live in space. Probably just in another galaxy in space. Not this old familiar area.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you'd
all
like to.
boring
You'd like to.
territory.
Yeah, you'd like to
Boring
get
Milky
out
Way.
there. And, yeah.
Want to get
Well,
out there.
I think if I would go into space too, but I would definitely want to be shot somewhere else. Like just
Yeah, just
I want to go somewhere else if they had hypersleep. Like I wouldn't just want to be
Yeah.
floating in
Right.
space. Like which they're like make. Surprisingly enough, I looked it up one day, and they're like making some sort of advances on like kind of like a hypersleep state.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see something like that in our lifetime, though? I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's possible. This goes back to being underwater. They're already working. I mean, you could on a liquid breathing technique.
Yeah.
You couldn't just go and breathe
Technique.
salt water, but do
technique.
Oh, yeah.
I trained in the mountains to
yeah,
master this
to breathe
technique.
underwater. But
you can't just eat any gillyweed and go under the
Right,
water.
exactly.
Yeah, Harry Potter.
Yeah. I've seen a few of those. Never read them. Justin hates the movies. I know. I got a Justin.
No
look.
comment.
Yeah, I got a Justin look there.
I like
Yeah,
the
but no, I
books
mean,
more.
I think that kind of stuff could definitely happen in our lifetime.
I mean, they're already doing the thing that I think in Massachusetts where they're say like if somebody has a severe gunshot wound, they can pump saline through you and like slow down the time. Like it basically put you in hypothermia mode where your heart's beating really slow.
This is kind of like a local story, but like at work, we had wasn't there a guy who like fell and hit his head, and didn't they do that to him? And
I don't remember.
Drove him to Nashville.
They.
Oh yeah, just to let you know, we're from Western Kentucky.
Oh yeah,
where there is hardly any gaming at all, and we're gonna bring that gaming to a forefront. Yep. Anyway, back to the topic. Water is getting a bad rep right now. I would pick space personally, but I agree with Trevor. There is so much at the bottom of the ocean that we do not even know about.
There could be creatures that we don't even...
Like the darkest part of the ocean, there's no telling what's down in there.
Yeah, the dark one, Cthulhu, he's there.
I mean, yeah.
Atlantis could be there.
Could be.
You know, then I wouldn't even need the technology. Atlantis is, eons ahead of us. I could just live there, yeah.
I mean, supposedly they found
cowboys.
Yeah,
Space
magic
cowboys.
Underwater cowboys.
Sounds like the life.
That would be the life.
I might change my answer.
No, we had to stay band of brothers.
It would be space. I mean, but at the same time, what would be more terrifying? Would you rather be like swimming in the murky middle of the ocean by yourself, or would you rather be floating around in space by yourself? What is more scary to you?
Well, what's more scary than me is like the way you would die. The way you die underwater is drowning or pressurization. So I mean, either way, if it's via pressure, it wouldn't be as bad. Because, you pretty much just be like...
Right. Well, hopefully...
But, like, if you're up in space, it's just like that anyway. Like, if you come in... Like, if something blows open, you're just like... And, like...
Is it like Total Recall, where, like, their eyes start bulging out of their head?
Oh, gosh.
Probably.
I can't even imagine.
I don't know. I've never been in space without a spacesuit.
Well, you should go sometime.
Yeah, you should definitely try
thanks
it
a
out.
lot, Justin.
Really,
okay.
No.
Commercial.
No. You're the space expert, John.
You are the space
I
expert.
Kerbal.
He does Kerbal.
He
Took a
does
minute to
terrible.
remember what Kerbal was.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like the most hipster looking one in here right now, but I don't even know what Kerbal is. It's an indie game.
What's Kerbal Space Program?
So you probably haven't heard of it.
All right, we're getting off topic though. But anyway, space.
Would be cool.
Space for me. Space for you. Space for him.
Water.
Underwater.
Is that it? Is that what we got?
I want to take a commercial flight into space one day. I'm leaving.
Yeah,
I think
That'd be
that's like getting close to
Oh yeah,
happening.
dude, SpaceX. Oh god.
Well,
yeah,
that's what they were trying to do, like with Virgin Aero.
I think it's. Go ahead.
What is his name? The guy who runs the whole Virgin thing, and then the Virgin shuttle crash happened. Like what? Like
I don't-
a month or two
Oh
ago?
yeah.
Elon Musk, ain't it?
No.
No, Elon Musk is SpaceX.
What is his name? It's gonna drive me crazy.
I don't
It's
know.
a very common name, and when I hear it, I'm gonna be like, oh,
Oh, that's it.
John Marston. It could be.
Yeah, John
That's
Marston.
it.
I can't think of his name, but I mean,
But yeah, that's the idea. Last second.
no, I completely agree. We'll be there. I hope it's in our lifetime. I'm worried when all that stuff starts happening, we're gonna be too old to understand
No.
it.
I don't ever want to be like that. I'm gonna try my hardest not to.
I know we all are, but I'm
Maybe
sure they said the same thing in their 1950s.
We will be doing this podcast.
White T-shirts and slick hair, and be like, I'll understand what's going on in 20 years.
We'll
And
have
then
to-
Vietnam happened, and then it just got all confusing for
Well,
everybody.
no matter what, whether we all have Alzheimer's, we will be around this table doing this podcast.
What'd you say? What
We
are we
may
talking
not know
about?
what we're talking about.
I'll be sitting in that chair, and Zach will be sitting against the window.
I just won't even be in front of the camera. You'll just hear me.
I'll be
Just
like
in front of
looking.
it.
I'll be looking out of the closet like
Exactly.
the creepy
Okay.
closet.
All right. So, space, water.
Water.
All right.
Okay.
On to my topic. Mine's gonna be the one that probably goes into the most personal details, and mine is we're all four of us here are gamers,
I just pour that.
and I want to know why you're into gaming, why you still game, just gaming in general, why you love it, and what it means to you, etc., etc., etc.
Okay.
This is the topic where Justin is going to feel really old.
Didn't they just tell me a minute ago not to feel old? So
You
Thanks a lot, Trevor.
You should.
thanks, Trevor.
Oh.
No, I will feel old.
Well,
But
You done goofed.
I started gaming just to pass the time, really. When I lived in Mississippi, my dad got a N64, and it was just out of nowhere too. Like he just came home with it, and that's how I started gaming. I was like, oh, what's this? You know, there's stuff on the TV that I can control.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember how old I was. We moved up here when I was 8, so it wasn't. I was maybe 6 or something like that. I don't know, but
Oh man.
You were 6 when the.
well, I don't know if it was like brand new.
This has killed me inside.
But yeah, I played Star Wars, the pod racing game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that so much.
Yeah,
And
it was great.
my dad did not like it at all.
Why?
And I don't
can't
know.
pod
He
race,
just
he's not good.
he couldn't pod race. I kicked that ass.
Isn't
That's
that like
what
the
it
most
was.
frustrating thing? Is like trying to play video games with your parents and they don't know what they're doing, and you're just like,
Oh.
oh my god.
I got my dad to play video
hit the
games with
button.
me once, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
Well, like the thing is, he was like, he played Sonic. He took the N64 back, got a Sega Genesis, I think, and all we had was Sonic, and that's all I had.
Down.
Yeah.
He took the step down, and I was, I played Sonic for
No offense,
forever.
Sega.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
offense.
no offense,
No
but
offense.
give us Phantasy Star Nova already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Please.
Taking shots at us, we'll take shots at you.
You took a shot.
Come on.
But
That's our podcast got shut down.
But yeah, then we moved up here, and in this very room's where I got my first PlayStation 2. And I got the PlayStation 2 before I got the PlayStation 1.
I mean, that was. I mean, you guys were what, like 10, 11 when the PS2 came out.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
that's understandable. That's usually about the time kids start really getting into gaming and start understanding gaming.
Yeah, but I played a lot of a lot of sports games, a lot of racing
Oh, yeah.
games. Like I think NASCAR 08 or something is the game we were talking about. the other-
NASCAR 2005
Yeah,
Chase for the Cup.
2005. Yep. That game, I played the hell out of that game. And then I got a PS1, and somebody from school let me borrow Metal Gear Solid. And so that's when my gaming really picked up.
Of course, Trevor stares off into space whenever I got Metal Gear Solid.
Here's on. You see the light.
It's my
leave his
trigger.
eyes.
It's my trigger.
Yeah, but like that's the game that got me into gaming, and then
Yeah.
after that, Kingdom Hearts and stuff like that. My gaming really picked up after that, and it's kind of a stress reliever. A
Absolutely.
get away from the crazy
Yes.
world outside.
Yes.
Like
It's the perfect. It's the
too.
perfect escape.
yeah. Well, I mean, stuff doesn't do stress like when I never could get past the fight with Psycho Mantis. I had the hardest time when I first played that game getting past Psycho Mantis because I didn't know plugging into the second controller port or he couldn't,
How
So-
that game was so creative.
I know for the time it was
I mean,
made
it's-
too. Like
Kojima, I love you.
Yep.
Anyway, go
I
ahead.
love you too.
we all love you at this
For
table.
PT, right?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
me
for
too.
PT.
I told you PT. I don't know
Yeah.
about Metal Gear, but yeah.
But yeah, that's where I started, and that's why I keep playing because it takes. Other than I love it,
Yeah, absolutely.
it takes me into another
World.
another world. I get attached to some characters, and
He's talking about the wall.
yeah, I get attached to this wall,
We love this wall.
and
Wide wall.
but it's just a perfect escape. Like I think about the stories to some games, like what. Like Metal Gear Solid and The Last of Us, and like even play a corny game like GTA 5. It keeps you into it and like brings
absolutely.
you into its world. So that's why I game, and that's
Play
why I
game.
love gaming because
Well-
it pulls me in and it keeps.
Well,
me.
that's a good segue to me because my biggest thing with gaming is always story. Story should always be the
Story
main
is
focus.
most important.
But of course, this harkens back to my childhood when I first started gaming. I don't know, pretty much since the time I can remember because my first console was the original NES that my uncle I think gave to me because my uncle was a teenager in high school when I was a baby and he had an NES and then he gave it to me, so I played a lot of Super Mario and Duck Hunt and then Legend of Zelda. I'm very cliche, and I mean Super Mario Brothers 3 is still one of my all-time favorite games. I mean, I don't know how many consoles I've bought that game on, and mostly because Nintendo won't give us an ID. They finally did that, so I had to keep buying it.
Yeah.
But I stuck with Nintendo pretty much through the 90s up until about 2003 or 4, until I first held that giant Xbox controller, and then I held the smaller Xbox controller, and I was a lot happier. And then I got addicted to a game called Halo. And these guys are gonna murder me because I'm like, they're going to because I'm like the Xbox guy here. And I stuck with that. I always had a PlayStation. I always played the PlayStation because I grew up with my cousins who we played so many old Square Enix RPGs like Vagrant Story and Final Fantasy and Xenogears and all these great games that used to come out. And like you said, Metal Gear Solid. And it's so cliche of me to say. And then stuck with the Xbox. And then at the time, this little game called Uncharted 2 came out. I realized that I was playing on the wrong console. I love the 360, but I never got an experience playing a video game like I did with Uncharted 2. And that whole opening where you're climbing up that train.
Oh yeah,
just,
that was perfect.
It hooked me right away. And then I stuck with the Xbox mostly because of Mass Effect and my saves were on there. And then around the time PS4 started showing its head in The Last of Us, this game that I guarantee you I will reference on this podcast a million times.
Like, we love The Last of Us.
It's like it's worth it.
It's worth it. I mean, that really hooked me, and that is when storytelling to me will always be the forefront of why I love video gaming. And
well, The Last of Us is, almost the perfect example.
It is. It really is. And I mean, gaming is such a huge entertainment media now. Like it honestly deserves to have recognition like movies and TV shows. I mean, just the way we're going, the episodic format, like Telltale does with their games and everything.
Telltale does an awesome job.
They really do.
Their stories.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's why they keep bringing me back. I have almost every. I haven't bought Tales of the Borderland yet, but I'll probably wait until
amazing.
I love it.
Yeah,
I can't wait for the second episode. Hurry up.
Hey, bring that Game of Thrones too.
Yeah.
I need it all, man. I need some more Walking Dead. That is the game that got me hooked on Telltale.
Yeah, absolutely. I think 90% of the people who play Telltale games would say that. Yeah. It wasn't their amazing Jurassic Park game they made. Anyway.
We don't talk about that anymore.
Yeah, we don't talk about that game anymore. But I mean, that's pretty much it. I'm very cliche. I grew up with Nintendo. Kind of turned colded. And then,
you never turn your back on Nintendo. Nobody.
I know. I still would never turn my back on Nintendo. It's just those decisions they make that just make me go, man, why are you doing that?
You love them, but
you kind of leave town for a little bit to get away, but you're always coming back.
You're always there.
You're always
it would be a sad day if Nintendo ever left the gaming industry. I mean, it would be. I mean, competition is what makes gaming what it is.
Yep.
You got to have competition.
Well, you need Nintendo. Excuse me. You need Nintendo. I mean,
turned into a monster for a second.
But, I mean, my story's pretty much the same as y'all's. My granny got me a Nintendo 64.
Shout out to Granny.
I love you, Granny. She lives right down the road, actually.
Yeah. I don't know.
And Granny got me a Nintendo 64. I played Ocarina of Time on it. It's Legend of Zelda. And that's really
What's Ocarina?
What? I didn't pronounce it.
Isn't it Ocarina?
Oh, I've always said Ocarina.
Hey, maybe
Ocarina actually does sound a lot more fluent.
No, it's fine.
With our country language, we can just...
we change
Ocarina.
No, it's fine.
Ocarina.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But I played that game a lot.
Yeah.
And that's really about... That's bad. I played a lot of Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. And those are really actually the only games I remember playing on my Nintendo 64. I never played GoldenEye, believe it or not. But, I mean, I have nowadays. But I back in the day, I never had GoldenEye.
GoldenEye was the game.
That's
I forgot about handhelds. Really turned me into gaming, too. Because when we made trips to see my grandparents back and forth to Mississippi, I had first I had my Game Boy Advance.
Oh, the Game Boy Advance.
Oh,
yeah. My Game Boy Advance was with me everywhere. When I went on field trips and stuff, don't bring your video games on the bus. I was the one in the back seat, hunkered down as far as I could, trying to play my Pokemon. Because I played Pokemon and Mega Man. I played all the Mega Man games on my Game Boy.
Well, I mean, the Game Boy Advance is pretty much what used to save my boring weekends at my father's house. Because
I thought I used to play at my granny's.
I mean, you had to. I mean, it's just handheld gaming is not the same like it used to be. And I completely interrupted Trevor, so finish your
that's fine.
I did actually.
Tangent.
From there, I got a I have my Game Boy. I can't remember when I got my Game Boy because I just remember my life I've always had the Game Boy. I don't know why. I think my granny also got me that one. I know she got me the Game Boy Advance, the original one, the one that didn't have the backlight. I remember that.
Your grandmother sounds like an amazing
human being. I love
Granny.
Granny.
Go give Granny a hug for all the stuff she's done for you.
But I don't remember who got me my original Game Boy Color. I don't remember that one. But after that, I got my PS1 at a yard sale, and I was with Granny. She bought it for me.
Granny basically gave you the gaming habit.
Shout out to Granny.
Granny funded Trevor's gaming.
She really did. And I got Final Fantasy IX at that yard sale. That was the first game I ever owned on my PS1. And I played the PS1 way before that, with my cousins. I always had to sit and watch them play Final Fantasy VII. I never got to play. But
jerks.
Yeah, a bunch of jerks. I'm looking at you, Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler.
But after that, I think my dad was the one that got me my PS2. Finally, Granny stepped down.
Granny's like, I can't be doing this.
Granny passed the torch.
The first game I got for that was Ratchet and Clank, and ever since that whole time of my life as a collective, that was what got me into gaming. Past that, I took care of it, myself from then on out. But
oh yeah, you went out and bought your PS3?
I did not actually, but I made my dad buy me a PS3 for Christmas. Well, I think he felt bad. I don't think he was going to get me one, but a month before the PS3 came out, I broke my PS2.
Yikes.
And
accidentally.
I tripped over the controller cord, and I had it. My PS2 was sitting like this high off the ground, and it just went over the end.
Oh man!
Now, half of it was hanging off a chest of drawers that I had. I was asking for it. I was playing that terrible Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus game.
No wonder you were so angry.
Yeah, so I was really mad, and I just threw my PS2 off it. I said, "Dad, I'm gonna need a PS3."
I remember coming over and you showing me that game.
Yeah,
because
I broke the component plug-in for it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you broke the game, but I think Square Enix did that.
Yeah,
you were gonna show me like this boss fight, and the game was so messed up it would never load it.
Yes,
you're like, I'm gonna show you this boss fight.
Yes,
I sat there for 20 minutes and nothing happened.
I remember coming to your house too. It took like 20 minutes to get a disc load on your PS2.
But can we talk about how sturdy those things are though? Like, or how much they stood? Well, obviously didn't stand up
the test of time.
But yeah, like my PS2 still works, and like thing, I left that thing on for hours. Like I went out of town for the weekend one time and left my PS3 on,
my
PS2 on.
I still play mine.
And it wasn't even hot when I got back. I just turned it off because I was like, oh, I didn't mean to leave this on.
Oops.
And like you said, handheld gaming. My first, well, of course, Game Boy, but the first big handheld that I ever bought for myself was my PSP. Well, I say bought for myself, but really, we had a yard sale at Granny's. And I sold about $100 worth of stuff. My granny threw in $50, and my dad threw in another $100, and they got me $250. And we went and bought a PSP that day. And I bought this Dynasty Warriors game with it. And
that, my friends, is how Trevor and I became friends on the bus.
That was actually how John and I became friends. So gaming brought John and I together because we played PSP on the bus together. Well, I probably hogged my PSP.
Well, yeah, I didn't play. I watched Trevor play Dynasty Warriors, and that's what made me get a PSP.
Yes.
And as soon as I got a PSP where we could play Dynasty Warriors together,
I left.
He left the bus.
I don't know if there were... I feel like that was the peak of handheld gaming was when the Nintendo DS and the PSP.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Peak.
Yep. That was like the mountaintop.
So much stuff was coming
Zach
out.
has got some great stories about your DS. That thing was broken.
Oh man, I've went through a few DSs.
Yeah, but anyway,
I'll get into that.
Yeah. So what brought you into gaming, Zach?
I guess it's coming to me now. I couldn't tell you if I played games before I was 5 because I don't remember anything.
Oh god,
Zach, you take a lot of hits to the head.
Maybe, I don't know. Like between When I was born and 5 years old is not blank.
There's a blank area in
Just
Zach's
a blank
life.
area.
I think my first memory is from like when I was 6. So
Yeah, like around then is when I haven't. Like I just all I can remember is just waking up one day and getting ready for school. Like I don't know what happened before. I don't know if I was a different person or what. Maybe I just came into existence then. I don't know. But I'm getting off topic.
No, that was great.
that was good. That was good.
The first gaming system that I ever played that I had was a Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
And Mom and I would always play together. We loved playing Mrs. Pac-Man.
Oh yeah.
Like Pac-Man, Galaga, all those like old games that they were from the Atari that they released on the Sega. And another game we used to play together all the time that we could actually both play at the same time was Wheel of Fortune.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
That we used to
That's
live.
awesome.
It's back when we used to live in the house that is like right next door down the road from me that my granny used to live in, which like she's passed away a few years ago, so God rest her
Shout
soul.
out to all the
Shout out to
grannies.
the grannies.
Yes.
all the
Because
grannies.
she fueled my gaming habit too a little bit. I used to go over to her house all the time and everything, and that's when I played like a SNES. And I'd play Contra, Super Mario World.
Oh man,
They
I need
had
those days.
it was
Contra.
something.
Man, that game was hard.
It still is.
I loved Contra.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Contra
yeah.
was one of my favorite games. And there was another game. It was some like RPG type game. It wasn't a JRPG though, but you played as a knight. And it reminded me of Castlevania, but it wasn't that. It was do not
Medieval.
It wasn't not
Was it
medieval.
the one where you're a knight, and then if you got hit, he like wasn't wearing anything?
It wasn't that one. I know that game you're talking about, but it wasn't that. It was still on SNES.
Oh, yeah, that's an NES game. My bad.
Yeah, it was still on there. Not like Maximo or Medieval or not those
Yeah,
games.
Medieval was PS1. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, I remember getting a demo disc for that.
Yeah.
But and then played N64. Played a lot of Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Puzzle Block.
Puzzle block.
Yeah, you know that game that Zach showed us, the Yoshi Island game, the
Yeah.
puzzle thing.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
there was a direct sequel which was themed around Pokemon. It was the same game,
Oh,
just around
okay.
Pokemon. And played that, in which I mainly gamed back then for escapism because it's going to get kind of sad. Which my mom and dad fought a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wasn't a great, marriage per
Yeah.
se. They got into so many arguments, and I would go into my room and play my video games. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't,
Yeah,
Yeah.
block that out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Put that out
yeah.
there. It's like, let me just game. And I probably didn't really get fully into it until when I got my PS1.
No.
And the main reason I wanted a PS1 was for Metal Gear Solid.
Oh,
Right.
My uncle Jay had a PlayStation 1, and he had that game. And first time I ever played it was over at his house, and I played it for about 20 minutes or so. And I was like, man, this is
I have no idea what's going on.
I
I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
this. I could get into this. And I always wanted that, but the funny thing is I never got it for my PS1. Like, whenever...
Another sad story.
I never got it. Whenever I asked for Metal Gear Solid for, I think it was Christmas one year, she got me the VR missions.
Oh, man.
And I was
Oh,
so
God.
disappointed. I still had fun playing it because, it's about as close as I'm going to get to it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Metal Gear Solid that I
It's
played.
actually like, I hope you still have that. That's pretty rare.
I don't have it anymore. Like, I had a big stack of games that I sold a long time ago.
Gotcha.
And I think it was, and the disc might have been broken. I don't know.
I have the Metal Gear Solid that comes with Metal Gear Solid 1 and the VR collections. Both of them. I kept that, which I may or may not have stole that from somebody. Not intentionally.
They steal it from you?
No.
No, my disc
I
was,
took it from Zach.
my disc was all
So
busted up.
did you finally get Metal Gear Solid 1
Nope.
eventually?
Never
Have you
got-
ever played it?
Yeah, I played
Okay.
it. I never played it on the PS1 to full completion.
I remember the first time that you got Metal Gear. Well, I remember downloading it for you for your PSP.
Yeah, that's when I really fully played it with on PSP, because PSP had a lot of stuff, and it was around
Did the
the.
PSP have a lot of things?
It did.
Yeah.
A lot of hackable things.
It did. It
Anyway.
did. I have
Sorry, Zach.
Sorry.
It's like, yeah, the PSP was a great system, not totally legit and everything. But around the time whenever I had the PS1 was around the time I got my first handheld as well. My mom got me a Game Boy Color. It was the purple see-through one.
Yeah, that's the exact one I had. Nice.
It was I loved that thing, and it had Pokemon Yellow, which was the first Pokemon game I ever played.
Mine too.
So I would play that all the time, and then it was probably around the time when the Game Boy Advance first came out. I got them.
No, I'm listening. I just feel very old right now.
I got the normal purple Game Boy Advance. I never had a Game Boy Advance SP.
You never had an SP?
I never got
Oh,
one.
that's the best one.
Those backlit screens were...
Oh, man.
I've played them, like some other people's. I think I played yours, but I never owned one myself. I always had the normal Advance and everything, and I loved playing
the original Advance was amazing, too.
Oh, yeah.
I loved playing, it was like Shinobi or something like that. You were basically a ninja.
Some game we probably never heard of because Zach's all about these.
And you run around, and it reminded me of like Ninja Gaiden, but it wasn't called that. It was just called like Shinobi Wars.
It was probably actually beatable, too.
Yeah,
I remember
it was
a game.
beatable.
Yeah.
Was it hard though? But it was beatable.
Shinobi or something? I've heard of a game called
Sharona?
Shinobi? There was a game on the PS2 called Shinobi.
Okay.
And I think it was like based around the old Advance game, but it was completely different.
Okay.
I did play that too. But whenever I got my PS2 was, I think, the year that it first came out, around Christmas. I remember seeing it in the store like a couple months prior. I'm like, I really want this and whatnot. And Mom was like, that's too expensive. You can't get that. I mean, it's too much money. And I was like, okay. So I was like, all right. Well, I asked for Metal Gear Solid instead. And that Christmas, I remember waking up and opening, presents. And two of the presents were PS2 games. It was Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty.
I bet you were just about to,
and
Mom, I'm never asking for Metal Gear
and
again.
Final Fantasy X. I was so disappointed. I was like, I can't even play this.
You didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I was so sad. I was like, I wanted Metal Gear Solid 1. I can't play this. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, well, we can take it back and get the money back. I was like, I guess. It's not the same. Mom. And they're just like, wait, I think Santa might have left you something on the back porch. And I went to the back porch, and there was a big picnic table out there that we got for like Easter or something. And I don't even know what happened to that table.
Zach walks outside and is like, did Santa leave the picnic table for me?
And there was another present on there, and opened it up, and it was a PlayStation 2. And I went crazy. I was like so excited. I was like, I can play Metal Gear Solid. And I don't even care. I don't even care about this anymore. And I remember whenever I first hooked up the PS2 within like 20 minutes of that happening. I plugged in Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, and I started playing. I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
And
it gets a bad rap. It doesn't deserve it.
Which, it's good. I mean, the main bad rap it gets that you don't play as Snake.
Spoilers.
You don't play as Snake throughout the whole game. If you don't want to listen to this part, don't be...
Where have you been the past 15 years?
Yeah, exactly.
You just played as Raiden for like the whole game, which you could play as Snake, but you had to like its subsistence version. I think I said.
No, you could always play as Snake. It's just only on the tanker mission. Or is it tanker first or plant first?
Tankers
Tanker.
first.
Tanker is always Snake, and that's why everyone got mad. It's because you're like, oh, this is so good playing as Snake, and then something happens.
Yeah.
And
something happens, and
then you play as Raiden.
Raiden. You're a man? What are you doing, Senator? That game.
Man.
That humor.
Shout out to Rose.
Oh, God, Rose. I forgot all about her.
Yeah, but anyway.
But apparently you could play as Snake in the tanker mission.
Yeah, that was
the tanker
subsistence missions.
The plant missions.
They were the Snake Tails missions, and they were tough.
They were really hard.
Oh, man, they were rough.
But apparently you could do it also in the normal version, but
Really?
you had to do... Yeah, I never was able to unlock. You had to do all this certain stuff, like get every single dog tag in the game.
Really?
I think had something to do with it, and finding all these Moe statues.
I know. I want to platinum that game so bad, but it just...
It's just
So hard.
oh, man.
But, which, we'll go more into the PS1 history. I had a lot of good games on the PS1. I had the first Final Fantasy game I ever played was on the PS1, which wasn't Final Fantasy 7, it was Final Fantasy 8.
My
The
first
first one I ever played.
Same boat as you.
And then I played 7 later on down the road, but I never owned 7. I went to buddy's house and they had it, and I would play it, mostly watch them play it because they were like way ahead of where I was.
Yeah.
And another game, 2 of my favorite games probably on the PS1 that I played that I had was Croc 3D.
Oh, man.
And Pitfall 3D.
No Pitfall. What is Croc?
You played as a little
Yeah,
alligator.
like a big head, right?
Yeah, big old head.
Oh,
it was
wow.
it was like Spyro, in a sense. Like it felt like a Spyro game.
Yeah.
There were like a million of those
Yeah.
types of games too.
I feel like Croc was like the answer to Spyro.
Yeah.
If it's like if you don't have Spyro, I was like, well, here's this generic Spyro, and it was Croc.
Here's this alligator with weird wings. And
Yeah.
And it was fun though. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I did play Xbox. I never had an Xbox, but 2 of my good buddies, when they lived down at Grand Rivers, and when I'd always go over to their house and we played the Xbox, and that's when I first played Halo. I played Halo 1, loved it. I would get an Xbox for Halo, because it's just probably one of my favorite games on the Xbox that I played.
Every Microsoft fan, hold your ear right now. It's the only reason to own an Xbox.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
And another...
I'll bleep that out.
Microsoft is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And,
No lies.
and another good game that we played was Cell Damage.
Oh, yes.
First time
Cell
I played Cell
Damage.
Damage was on
I had that
Xbox.
on my GameCube, though. I never even knew they had that on Xbox.
They had it on Xbox. That's first. I never knew they had a GameCube on GameCube.
That's funny. See, I
Somebody,
played...
like slamming something.
Oh, what?
Oh, it's my
Okay.
Possibly my foot.
Okay.
But and
I thought we were
then
having like an earthquake and it was so hard holding on something.
prepare yourself. And then Fusion Frenzy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if either.
I've never played Fusion
Fusion
Frenzy, but
Frenzy.
you've told me about it.
It was a good little party game. It was cheesy. Just to give you a little look at how cheesy it was. Every time you start the game, we're just going Fusion Frenzy.
Yeah, but
And that
you
was
didn't
it.
realize it was cheesy back then.
Yeah,
you were
you
just like,
was
man,
like-
this is so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have so many fun times with just like 3. It's a good party game.
Thank you, Pizza Hut, for these awesome demo discs.
Yeah.
Pizza was down. I mean, the first time I played Metal Gear Solid 3 was on a demo disc.
That's awesome.
And then whenever it came out, I actually got it on the PS2 around the couple months after I got San Andreas. Because that was the big Grand Theft Auto game that I loved to play on the PS2 was San Andreas. But first one I played was Grand Theft Auto 3 and then Vice City. Which Vice City was my favorite until San Andreas came out. I loved San Andreas.
Yeah, San Andreas.
And then I got a PS3, which was a year after you got yours.
Yep.
It was a year after you got yours. 'Cause I remember first seeing a PS3 and playing it was when I went to your house and we played Oblivion.
Yes.
The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
Yeah, funny
Great
story
game.
about the PS3. I felt so bad. This is off topic. I know. I got a PS3 a month after it came out. My dad got it for me for Christmas, as I mentioned earlier. And Zach wanted one so bad.
I wanted it so bad.
And I got one for Christmas, and I don't know. I got Call of Duty 3 with it. I got Rock Band the year after. I got one for Christmas, and I remember texting Zach that morning. He was like, "Are you telling me everything that he got?" And I was like, "That's awesome." And then I was like, I got a PS3.
I was like, oh
I
man!
felt so bad.
This was back whenever I had a little Nokia track phone.
Yeah.
Those little indestructible little
Yeah.
Oh,
things.
man, you can't beat those old phones.
I was so jealous when
I
heard
felt
that.
so bad because you told me everything that you got, and I was like, "Yeah, I got some candy and a PS3
It's like, oh.
socks.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's nice. Like here, I got this PS3.
Yeah.
Eat it.
I didn't see you get a
But anyway,
PS3
back-
until like 3 years after y'all got yours, so.
And I remember going over.
John was late.
I remember going over to your house and playing Oblivion, which if I could go back and just forget everything about
Oh,
Oblivion
my gosh,
and re-experience
yeah,
it for the
forget-
first time again.
That was
Yeah, it's called Skyrim.
But now I know everything about Skyrim too, and can't. It's one of those things. It's the same problem. It's if I can just forget everything about it.
Don't
and
worry,
then go back.
maybe Fallout 4 will come out this year.
Maybe.
Bethesda.
looking at you.
But I loved my PS3, and the main reason I got the PS3 was whenever I heard Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots was going to be coming out, I was like, oh, another Metal Gear game.
You have to have it.
I gotta get it. That was the deciding factor and everything, because whenever the Xbox 360 came out, I almost got an Xbox 360.
I don't blame you, because like at that time everybody was getting 360s.
I know.
And I didn't know anything that was coming out for the PS3 that I was interested in. And that was before I found out how amazing the Uncharted series was.
Well, we didn't even know.
Yeah, it's been. When did the first Uncharted didn't come out?
It came out in 2007, and it was fun. Uncharted 1's a good game.
Yeah, I've
good,
never
like, for when
actually
it
beaten
came
it,
out.
but
You haven't beat. I have it if you.
I got like halfway through it.
Because I almost got a 360 because Halo when it was coming out, I was like, man, I like Halo. I'll just get it for that. And then it's like Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots only on PS3. I'm like, well, fuck the Xbox 360. I'll get a PS3.
Yeah.
And little did I realize that when I played Metal Gear Solid, I was mainly just sitting here like this, playing it.
But it was still so great.
Zach was like, little did I realize that was the best decision I ever made.
No,
I still loved it.
That's the only reason I bought a PS3. It was the only game I ever played on my big PS3, and then it was like, I've done my job, and then it died on me.
I was
You're
lucky.
welcome.
I was. Good night, sweet prince. I was lucky enough.
Oh, go ahead.
I ain't finished yet, John. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry I'm taking so long.
No, it's a good story. I love it.
Yeah, I do too.
I was lucky enough my PS3 never died on me and whatnot, but
Oh, you still have the big PS3?
no.
No, I do.
Oh, it's yours?
Yeah, I still
I
have
ended
that.
up trading it in. I got one of the little ones. I got the littlest one they did. It has
He
the
betrayed me. I'm the only fat brother left.
We were fat brothers in the PS3s because Trevor got the second one.
I originally had the 60 gigabyte, but after 3 years of service, it yellow lighted on me.
And then
Yeah.
I got the one they made after the Slim, which is like the Super Slim or something. It has the top that
Top loader.
opens.
Yeah.
I do not like that.
I hate that
It's
thing.
not
I
that
hate
great.
it.
Yeah.
Do they not run well, or what's wrong with them?
They're just They feel so flimsy.
Yeah, it feels
runs
like a
good.
cheap toy.
So,
But,
like,
yeah.
12-year-old Trevor that was sitting on top of his chest, that thing would have been coming down a lot
Yeah.
faster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
gone in a month.
I have the perfect PS3 now. That's
And then-
the mid-level one.
I agree, it's the best one.
I don't know. My fat one's doing awesome.
I did love the fat PS3s.
And then around the time when PS4 came out, that Black Friday,
Oh, if
See,
I
this
still
is when
have,
you and I were left out in the dark.
if
Yeah.
I still have that picture, we could put it up, in the corner of the podcast. Me and Zach, we went on Black Friday to pick up our PS4s, and we got there we got to Walmart at 3 p.m. and like we were the only two in line because Mayfield, nobody really cares. We probably could have got there at 12 and picked up our PS4s. But we got there, we stood in line, and we got our little wristbands. We had some wristbands.
I was in the Xbox One line that day.
Yeah, you went to get Zach Davis an Xbox One.
Yep.
But we had our wristbands. We went home and we filled ourselves up on Christmas dinner. And then 12 o'clock rolled around. We walked back into
Thanksgiving.
Walmart.
Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, God.
Christmas dinner came later.
Yeah, Christmas dinner was a month later.
Thanksgiving dinner must have really sucked.
He started thinking, I was like, oh, I got blocked that out. Christmas.
Well, I probably fell asleep for a couple hours after I ate.
probably did.
It was probably like that blank time in Zach's life that he missed.
Yeah.
I remember you texted me that night because I was sitting there playing Heavy Rain, and I was like,
Yeah.
Well,
I hate this game.
We
I love
like
the PS4.
We were like running around Walmart with our PS4s, and like Zach had a gun on his hip to make sure nobody tried to rob us of our PS4s.
Wow.
He really
He did.
did.
He did.
I'm not denying. I don't believe you. I'm just like, wow.
But I was holding it like a football, like I was running through like I was about to make the game-winning touchdown, and I picked up Battlefield 4 because that was the only thing I was like, that's the only thing I'll play right now, and we got out to the car, we buckled it up in our back seat, like it's gonna make it safe.
We had it all safe and sound.
We didn't leave it. I think we went to Family Video after that too to stop by and get some movies, and like we took our PS4s in with us to Family Video in case somebody was like peeking in cars or
I
something.
just figured you were like, I got one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's basically what I got.
He already had one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He had one before.
He got one the day it came out.
I got lucky and got Amazon had a giant second shipment and got mine in. But that first month that the PS4 was out. Even though now I'm like, why did I freak out
I know,
so bad? And he and I were in the same boat. We were just like...
I bought Trevor his PS4 from Toys R Us, too.
Yeah, I remember that day was so funny because I was looking all around Paducah, a city near us, and I had nowhere else to look. And I remember I stopped at Hardee's on the way out of town.
Shout out to Hardee's.
And I sat there. I think I got some fries or something. And I sat there in there by myself, and I was thinking, where else can I go? I will go anywhere here. I was trying to think of everywhere. And on my way home, I remember Toys R Us, and of course, they had one. and John was still in Paducah. So.
And the thing, that was like one of the most hectic days of my life because I had to go put a check in the bank in Mayfield. I got out of class at 2:15. The bank closes at 3. Around here, that might seem crazy to somebody out there because I'm sure in big cities they don't close until like 8 or 9. But the bank closes. I don't know. The bank closes at 3.
Bank closes.
No, it was you had to drop it off for your dad or something before 3 because they close at 6.
Well, either way, I had to get a check in the bank, and Trevor calls. He's like, "Please, if you can, please go by Toys R Us and buy me a PS4."
Yeah.
So I run out to my car. Somebody had kicked a rock up, and like my windshield was like cracked all the way across. And I was like, Trevor, somebody like messed up my window, but I'm going. And
I'll do this.
I jumped in my car, and like as I'm like wheeling out of the parking lot, like I'm doing stunts and stuff, like donuts, and I'm calling the insurance company. I'm like, somebody like smashed my windshield. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to go pick up a PS4 and. I'm like driving like this, and I run into Toys R Us, and nobody's in the electronics section. I'm on the phone like trying to talk to somebody about getting my windshield.
And there's like a little kid be like, "Hey, PS4," and you like push him out.
Yeah,
I'll like take him and throw him and
get out of here.
And I finally get this guy, and I'm like on the phone. He's like, "Do you want some extra coverage?" I said, "If he wants extra coverage, he can buy it in damn self." and like I paid for it, and I ran out the door, and that was crazy.
It's you guys explained every experience basically in a way that I've been through in my life, and I mean that answers your question of what makes me a gamer.
Yeah, absolutely.
The experiences.
Zach's story was basically his story.
I could sit here and talk for probably 6 more hours on the other experiences I've had, but I mean, really, that is what makes me a gamer, and that is why I'll continue to be.
Thank you for sharing, Zach.
Everything that all of you have shared is why I'm a gamer.
Yeah,
you know, we have these are the stories that,
and this is why I'll be a gamer until
I'm
the day
dead.
I die.
Yeah,
These are the stories of real gamers.
Yeah.
See, when they're doing PS4 memories 20 years from now, and John Allen's famous, that car story is going to be like
it's going to be a hit with everyone.
Yeah,
That's what
everyone's going to know you for.
You remember the car story?
PS4.
All right, so here's what we're doing. We're about to get serious. And when I say serious, not really.
It depends on what you
So,
It depends on what you think about this subject.
Zach, what's your topic?
It's serious if you keep track with esports, like with League of Legends, Dota, all that stuff, Halo, just anything, Counter-Strike, anything with esports, then you may have heard of stuff about match fixing in esport games, in which the main one that I know of right now, because just was most recent, was in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, up in the higher leagues with all the pro players, like Ninjas in Pajamas, Fnatic, Dignitas.
Ninjas of Pajamas?
Ninjas in Pajamas.
Oh.
Just NIP for short.
They won one of the recent tournaments.
Yep. They recently, I'm pretty sure it was Ninjas in Pajamas, they recently had a game where they were going up against this team that no one knew about, really.
By Power? That's who it was.
It was Out by Power.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a team that was lower that they shouldn't have lost to.
Yeah.
And they ended up losing like 16-4. And it came to light that this match was thrown. Like a journalist or something got a hold of one of the other players of the team that threw the match, and basically, was talking to him about it. And he said, "Oh yeah, that match was going to be thrown and everything for skins," which in Steam and everything in the CS:GO community, skins is basically the money of that game.
Yeah.
Every skin's worth so much. I mean, there's skins and knife skins and whatnot that are worth like over $200 to $300.
Yeah,
People are
that's
betting
crazy.
this on matches and whatnot, and then you got the lower skins like 10 or 5 cents.
It ranges from 10, or it ranges from like 3 cents to over $200.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And that's like real world money that
Yeah,
people
yeah.
will actually buy this stuff.
And what a lot of people have been talking about, you know, since they've added, you know, skins and whatnot, it's kind of ruining the CSGO community because it kind of gives you a reason to throw stuff, like throw matches.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you bet all on the other team, you're getting all this money back because, you know, you're not worried about the prize money at the end of these huge tournaments. Like some of these tournaments, the prize money you're going to get is like $250,000 or
Gosh.
higher. Like they'll invest this all in these esports tournaments.
Yeah.
And they're getting big. I mean, ESPN covers them and stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, I can see in a few years, or like a couple years from now, like esports is going to be just as taken seriously as other sports in like certain areas, since they're covering it like it is.
See, that it almost scares me because what's that going to do to multiplayer online communities?
It's going to make them too real. you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, it's like, I don't know, it's what's split the Halo community because you got the community that wants Halo to stay the same, slow-paced, like fun multiplayer that we grew up on, and they're trying to push that esports. They're trying it so bad, and they make it a lot faster paced. And I don't know, I just see it being more of a division than a unity type
I
thing.
can agree with that. I don't know much about it, but
Yeah, I mean,
I can agree with that.
Like, sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no, you're fine. Which, the big thing about Counter-Strike is if you're wanting to do like the whole esports competitive thing,
Yeah.
they've got like separate programs to do that, where you go into pugs,
Yeah.
which are just basically servers that are 128 tick, make it smooth and everything registers quicker, while Valve's matchmaking is 64 tick. Doesn't register as well. Nobody likes 64 ticks just because of that. Like hitboxes basically are a joke. They're already a joke in the game anyway. They're broken. And 64 tick makes it worse. That's why whenever you're wanting to do like serious competitive play, you would invest in a monthly service with ESEA, and you get this service where you can join these pugs, and you get grouped up with players of your same skill level on the pug itself, not with your skill level on Steam itself. It's a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
And you'd play with these players and whatnot, and a lot of people get picked up during these things. Like, you hear stories about people like Kenny S and everything, and just getting picked up from pro teams because, you know, they'd play with them, they'd see how they play, like, oh, we'll just take you in and whatnot. In which, this is kind of getting off topic with it, but the main question is do you think match fixing is going to ruin like the image for esports like it is kind of with how normal sports is?
I don't think it will.
Well, I mean, this is a good topic too, because, you know, we got the whole Deflategate thing going on with the Patriots and them deflating their ball. I mean, cheating is always going to be around. I mean, like,
Nothing you can do about it.
Halo 2 is the biggest game I ever played online. Like, I played that game hardcore for about 2 or 3 years, and the problem with that game is it got ruined by modders, like people modding, and, you know, what's the point?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with CSGO right now. Like, in the higher leveled leagues and everything, you'll run into hackers and whatnot like that, which
Yeah.
I'm going to come out and say I did hack a little bit. And one of my accounts, I did do it, but it was...
But he's learned his
I
lesson.
learned.
Yeah.
I tried it.
Tell him
you know,
what happened.
It was...
He got banned.
I got VAC banned. And when you get VAC banned, you can't play any on the servers on that account with that game anymore. It's permanent. You know, I did it. I regret it. But, you know, I did it because I've never...
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, and people can do whatever they want to do. I just don't understand, like, how is that fun? Like, how is it fun to have that much of an advantage over somebody else? Like,
It wasn't.
But the thing is, that's what you can win. Like, if you're in a higher ranked match, you can end up winning stuff.
I get it.
I guess that's why people do it.
Yeah.
I think, like, with me, what it was, because, you know, I used to use hacks on my PSP online games.
Really?
SOCOM Fireteam Bravo
Yeah.
2. And, you know, I was the guy that would fly around, run into the level. But I think what it is, and I think this may be what happened to you. It's the novelty of, like, at first you're like, man, I can destroy all these people.
It sounds like a
this.
god complex.
Yeah, it's a novelty, and like anything else, it wears off once you're like, you've done it so much, you're just like, okay, this has ruined my experience with the game. Because then when you try to play, legit, then you're not going to be as good as you were with your hacks, and that really takes away from the fun of the game. Like, because at that point you're like, well, I can just turn on my hacks again and be,
I need the hacks.
Yeah,
we got them hacks, man.
I think it takes away. I really think it's just a novelty, is what it is. All it is, and I do think that it would eventually. I think it could take away from the fun of esports.
And that's what I do like with how Steam does with the whole VAC thing and whatnot. Basically, if you're wanting to play this game again, you need to rebuy it, make another account to play it.
Yeah.
That's why I've got 2 accounts on Steam and whatnot. I've got my main account that has the VAC ban from Counter-Strike, but I've got all my other games that I play on it, and then this other account that I basically just play Counter-Strike with.
Just Counter-Strike.
Maybe it'll eventually lead to them not including PC games in esports if it keeps getting hacked like that. Because console games, I mean, I don't know, because like, I know you can hack your consoles, but you just can't connect online with them.
It's not as easy to hack into a console. I mean, it's not. I mean,
it's not like The Matrix.
Right.
Which
I've never seen those movies.
I can see. I can see where you're coming from and how they might not include PC. I just don't think that'll be the case. I mean, because ESA has their own cheat client too, anti-cheat client, which I watched a video a couple days ago. This guy named Flex or anything was on a team called ESP. He got banned in mid-match, like during the live stream and everything. Everyone was talking about it. And they just picked him up and whatnot. And while he was playing, I watched the video, and while he was playing and stuff, also he was gone. And it said ESA does not tolerate cheaters and whatnot. And they had like their own cheating system along with VAC's cheating system and everything connect to it. I mean, they've got all these stuff that is looking for things like this.
So do you think that they'll eventually just take Counter-Strike off esports?
I don't think
so, but I feel like they'll make bigger steps for anti-cheat.
I feel weird talking about this because, like, I have an opinion on esports, but at the same time, I don't have the knowledge of PC stuff that you guys have. Like, the PC
I don't either.
The PC gaming realm is just so out there for me. I just don't. I don't hate it. It's just like I just prefer console gaming, and I trust me. I grew up on PC gaming. That's what I grew up on. But
there's nothing wrong with that.
No. I just said I hate talking about something I don't fully grasp on.
Right. I don't think that cheating or like I don't think that's ever going to go. I don't think that's going to be the end of esports. I think once they get past that, you got to get to a point to where, you have to give somebody enough of a reason not to want to cheat or not to want to throw a game. The skins should not be worth as much as they are because, you can invest thousands of dollars in the skins and get so much more back than you would get for winning this tournament.
Gotta have that swag.
Yeah, easy skins, easy life.
Basically, that's all it is when you see someone with these nice skins and like basically look at how much money I've got.
There was back to Halo. Sorry, everybody.
No, it's fine.
Halo 3. There was this armor. It was called Recon.
Oh, I remember that.
You remember this? Like people went insane because Bungie would only give the Recon armor to a certain number of people. And then they eventually released things called Vidmaster achievements, and if you completed them all, they give you Recon. And after that, it's like,
Basically, look how good I am.
We want what we can't have. So
yeah.
But back to the esports topic. I mean, cheating sucks in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's any way you look at it. I mean, it's going to ruin the experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things, but like. There hasn't been much cheating in esports that I've heard lately. There was the whole big called the vacation, which a lot of these pro players were proven to be cheating, and they got banned.
Really?
Yeah, there's a bunch of big names. And that was the only real thing you heard about, the just cheating within the Counter-Strike community itself. and whatnot, which now everyone's skeptical about all these people. Any pro player that's good, well, considering what happened recently with the whole vacation, who's to say this person isn't cheating with some kind of small tweak or whatnot?
Yeah,
you just don't know. I mean, it's
one of those things that it's going to ruin the community if it keeps going.
It's just that how those online communities are anywhere.
They are hard, especially Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike's harsh.
They don't straight up.
They don't. When it comes to Counter-Strike, I mean, like I said, easy skins, easy life. You get good at Counter-Strike, you're going to be making some money.
No.
And they don't play when it comes to Counter-Strike because I've gotten to a competitive match with him, and they ripped me apart because I was not good.
That's all right.
It's a toxic community.
It is very toxic, and so that's why people are the way they are. I'm just trying to, I don't think it's going to affect e-game or esports. I keep saying e-gaming.
Trust me, I just want to keep saying EA Sports.
Yes.
It's in the game.
It is in the game.
But I don't think it's going to affect esports. I think they will find a way to keep it from happening, and eventually esports is going to take off more than it already is.
Yeah, I think it will too. I mean, it's with anything. There's going to be those couple of bad eggs
because it's so new,
right? Yeah. And they're probably always going to be.
Trevor?
Well, Justin's a good egg.
New egg, Justin.
Shout out to New Egg.
New Egg's got good prices on their parts.
That's how I got my computer.
I built my computer with a lot of parts from New Egg.
I'm just very confused.
Okay,
yeah, we went way.
Okay,
off.
sorry, back. But there's always going to be those bad eggs that want to do things their own way. And yeah, I mean, it's gonna give it a little bit of a reputation. But I think that it is not going anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I know.
It's the same with everything. There's going to be those people.
This harkens to everything with the gaming community because it's becoming such a huge franchise. I mean, that's what we're wanting to do. Mm-hmm. I mean, we love gaming. I'm assuming you guys do too. I hate speaking for you, but I mean,
of course.
Trust me, this would be better.
Boy, you're wrong.
Yeah, well,
boy, oh boy,
those stories we just told, complete lies.
I know. I feel like so worthless about my story compared to Zach's. Like I was just like, man.
Well, like you said, though, Zach spoke for all of us. He went through it all, and it was it was perfect. I love that.
But we're starting to wind down. Climb down that slow staircase.
I think we have one more question left.
No, it's called a topic, John. And you haven't given me enough time to do the setup at all.
I'm just going to keep stroking.
You're making fun of me because you're 5 years younger than me. You can grow a better beard. Anyway, Trevor.
Stop it, Trevor.
Are you ready?
Stop.
The unofficial Baldwin brother. What is your topic?
Okay, so we've talked about gaming a lot today, and this question can, be about video games too. But I was going to just change it up a little bit, kind of like John did. Something short and sweet to end our show with. What is the most fun you've ever had? And it can be anything you want it to be. I mean, it can be the wildest party you've ever gone to, the drunkest you've ever been.
It's going to be Trevor's.
But
Royal Burber.
It can be anything. But go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just finished speaking.
I guess I'll start. I'll start to give you guys an idea what I'm talking about. The most fun I've ever had was my senior year of high school, and Zach and we were a part of a broadcasting class for 3 years of our high school career. That's how I know how a lot of this setup worked. That's how Zach and I, the video guys. But we know
it just works.
We ran a daily show called GCTV. We went to Grace County High School, and it was a very professional setting. And we had a teacher. His name was Randy Herndon.
I might know where the story's going, but
I think you do because you were there. Anyway, every year there is this student television competition, and it was held in Orlando, Florida, the year that we went, and it is a 5-day event. There are schools from all over the nation. And there's like how many different competitions are there? There's got to be at least 100. There's got to be.
We were only putting a few.
Yeah, you can only do so many. Like each school branches at
There were like 7 or 8 schools over there.
Oh, there was way more than that. Yeah.
There was only like a few in the same hotel we were.
Yeah.
But there was a lot more.
But it was a 5-day event full of these video competitions, and I couldn't even name how many competitions there were. And each school probably brought. I think we had 14 with us. It just depends. Like if it just depends the area you were from. Like Carlsbad, California, they had like 200 students with them. I swear, it seemed like
we had like only a small group of people,
Yeah.
and then Carlsbad, and they're 200 people. We're just sitting there like.
It may not have been that many. That may be an exaggeration, but
Did you fall asleep when you were doing that?
Come on, make me tired.
Yeah, but it's like of course, the more people you had, the more competitions you could enter.
Oh, yeah.
We had 14 students, probably somewhere around there. So we had a group of 5 that Zach and I were in that did what was ours? A news report.
Yeah, we did a news report. I think it was the main one we focused on.
Yeah, the best news report. Anyway, that just talk a little bit about that.
Had like a commercial for a movie trailer.
Yeah, that was it. The movie trailer. Yeah.
Topic.
And so we were there for 5 days. 5 full days of nothing but working with cameras, video equipment, video editing nonstop. And
it was awesome.
That was the most fun I've ever had in my entire life.
That's awesome.
I mean, because this is what I love to do. And for 5 days straight, I was in Orlando, Florida. We stayed in a hotel I'd never be able to afford on my own.
It was like a 5-star
Yeah,
hotel.
Royal
Rooms
Plaza.
were nice. Oh.
And, of course, we had to share rooms.
Yeah.
But, it was just amazing being in Florida while everyone else is in school. Working.
I was by myself.
Yeah, John was by
playing my PSP like in the corner somewhere.
Yeah, and I mean,
Don't
it
feel
was
bad,
just.
John. I was already out of high school.
Yeah, so you were out of school, Justin.
It was just. It was the experience of a lifetime. Like because for five straight days, we were around people that this is what they lived and breathed this. This is what everyone.
To,
yeah,
like you could just relate.
You had something in common with everybody there. I mean, it was just it was the most insane experience I've ever been to, and and some people took it a lot more seriously. We had little laptops that we brought, and I remember getting off the plane, and there was another school there, and they all of a sudden through that little belt that brings you all your luggage, like 5 iMacs roll out. I was like, oh man, we're giving us a run
budget constraints, man.
We just have our own little laptops that we brought, But no, I mean that was the most fun, and we did there was a competition that we did as a school. It was a school by school basis. All 14 of us got together. I believe it was 14. Like I said, that number is close enough.
That sounds right.
And we did it was a 16-hour event. Like we had from 7 a.m. I believe was when we left the auditorium until what would that be, midnight?
Something like that, I want to say it was. We had to get it in, like the tape turned in by midnight
and
to be considered in the
as a school. We had to make a full show, a full like 10, 15-minute show. So, of course, we branched out. We were all working together, but, Zach and I branched out to do a news story. 2 other people would do a different news story. 2 other people did, like, effects, And we had our 2 anchors. Everyone branched out all throughout. It was stressful. It was the most fun I've ever had because it was so stressful. And, you didn't have time to sit down and talk. You had to get going. You had to make a story, get your show together, because that's a lot of work.
Fun stress.
It was what, I had the most fun I've ever had doing that.
I can tell you did. You're just so excited.
Yeah, I'm shivering right now because I'm so cold. But, it was...
Well, you shouldn't have picked the haunted house as our meeting
I know.
point, Trevor.
But I know I've taken forever on that. But
No.
that was
Stop.
That
It's
was
a
the
podcast. We do what we want.
That's right.
Right, John?
Yeah.
But just being in that kind of environment.
Too much.
No.
No, that was just enough. Being in that kind of environment for 5 straight days, it was just insane. I mean, I would go. I wish I could go back. It was amazing.
I wish you could too.
Well, you left me out of your most fun time, but I'm not going to leave you out of mine.
Thank you, Joe.
Tension.
The most fun I've ever had was when all three of us went to. I have to leave Justin
That's
out
okay.
though because he was
Justin
doing
wasn't
his,
alive at this point.
Yeah, he was
I
in
wasn't
that.
alive.
Justin
He
was
wasn't
in
around
that,
yet.
Justin was in that blank spot that Zach was in. That everybody has that time in their life, and that was Justin's. Justin was just
Justin
not there.
doesn't remember this time. He was there though.
But yeah.
I think I might be having that blank spot right now because I'm just really confused.
Don't question it. Just nod your head.
Just go with it.
All
But when we went to Current River,
Oh yeah.
and we stayed in that hotel, and
Oh my god.
Good times,
We-
man.
that was awesome. But just floating down the river, and like when we got out, you had to go get your ice cream, and but like
Trevor is caught.
we
Yeah.
would swim all day. Well, no, I'm talking about the time that we stayed in the actual hotel, not the time we stayed at the park.
Oh, okay.
That time was fun too because Roger was.
Yes.
I had
Oh,
two.
classic Roger.
See, Justin remembers.
He knows Roger.
But
I've got to
I mean, I guess those are what?
I've got to have a hoodie. I'm about to freeze.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Might as well start the story over.
Yeah, might as well. But I mean, we had those two good times where we went and camped, and Trevor had his cot,
Yeah.
and Roger woke us up in the morning yelling "Coffee!"
Yeah.
But the one that my favorite was whenever we stayed in the hotel, and like your mom told him there was only 2 people staying there, but you needed 2 queen size beds, and like at night we'd sneak back into the hotel room.
Yeah.
And like we'd swim in their pool, and then we go to the river and we float almost all day, and we come back and like start grilling and stuff. It was like that was an awesome time.
That is just a fun summer experience. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the best kind of experience.
I mean, there's a lot of times where I've just had a ton of fun. Like when we went I had a good time going to Florida until the drive back.
Yeah.
Where it took us almost 24 hours to get back from Florida because my dad stopped instead of stopping and getting a new tire put on the car. No, he stopped every hour to fill it up with air.
Gotta go to Mobile.
Yeah, and we took like
Air.
a 3-hour detour because he had to go to Mobile, Alabama.
Sounds like the worst Gilligan's Island knockoff ever.
I can't even do that. But yeah, we were going to Destin, and we could have taken this like off road. And he's like, "I'm sticking to the highway. I'm going to Mobile, Alabama." And I was like, "Okay."
I'm gonna show this to your dad.
Okay, Dad, why'd you take us to Mobile?
He never answered that question.
But yeah, the most fun, Current River for sure. Zach doesn't know. Zach's never had fun. Look at that face.
Justin,
No, I'm going last.
you're going last. Zachary.
Zachary.
And it's tough to choose one
He's gonna choose me.
because the one I'm choosing is gonna be when we went to Florida. I think it was
Oh, we went to Gulf Shores,
Gulf Shores.
Alabama.
I want to say that's Florida for some reason because
It's
the beach.
close,
and
close to
everything.
Orange
Basically
Beach.
is.
But I had a lot of
Awesome.
fun with like this STM was really
Uh-huh.
fun. But if I were to go into that, it's gonna be the same thing. You
Yeah,
just said.
exactly. Yeah.
It's gonna be the exact same. But it was really fun. But going to Gulf Shores, John and I went to Gulf Shores with my mom, and it was amazing time. We've
It was
seen
awesome.
a lot of good stuff. We went to the beach and played out in the ocean. And we played in the ocean.
How old were you?
we were out of high school.
We were in high school. It was
2012 is when y'all went.
Yep. And
And Zach ran a ton of red lights. That
I got lost for a little bit.
We were going back to the hotel, and Zach's mom was a little intoxicated, so Zach had the drive. And instead of letting the windshield defrost, Zach drove with like the windshield was kind of frosted over, and he couldn't see. So he was just like driving on the wrong side of the road.
The window was frosted over and you guys swam in the ocean?
Oh
Well,
my.
like it was at night, like the
okay.
temperature changing.
Yeah.
Like
It dropped like pretty.
it dropped
cool
pretty
at
cold.
night.
It was St. Patrick's Day that we went. I don't know when that is.
We
March, I think.
Yeah, it was spring break.
Yeah, because that
They all
water was
went.
still pretty cold.
we went
Right.
down there.
Right.
Spring
And-
break.
seagulls everywhere.
Zach got in trouble for feeding the seagulls on the beach.
Like, people are getting so mad because there's a bunch of people around us, and I'm just sitting there with these crackers going. Those seagulls are flying everywhere.
Like, he was landing on other people's stuff, and Zach was just like, ah!
Was it a flock of seagulls?
Yeah, it's a flock, I would say. Probably.
Did you run?
And then, like, all of our hair just, like...
Did you run so far away?
And I ran.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
I'm just, anyway.
I remember that now.
sorry.
You're talking about And I Ran so far away. You're talking about that song? Is that
I don't know
before?
about Iran, but anyway, back to your story about seagulls and crackers.
This is what I deal with. And got in trouble for that, but still fun. And then we went to this little restaurant or anything.
Oh, yeah. Man, that was a sad day, too, though, because that's when Murray State was in the suite. Or, no, they were in
The round of 32.
Yeah, the round 32, and they lost to Vandy. Or, no, they lost to Marquette.
Yeah.
I remember we heard about that in there, because I was eating crab legs.
Yep, Zach ate some crab
Zach
legs.
is eating crab legs.
I had like a
Legitimate
$20
crab leg.
I had like a $20 burger, and it didn't come with a $5 shake.
Of course not.
But
And
Pulp Fiction.
And I'll never forget this, because this was probably the
I'm
thing
listening.
that sticks out in my memory with this. John and I were sitting in the Blazer waiting. I think Mom was still in the restaurant. She was getting a couple of drinks before we left. So she came out with 2 bottles.
she came out with 2 bottles of Bud
drinks.
Light, and like
Had a
they
couple
wouldn't let you
drinks, got a couple
leave.
things.
They wouldn't let you leave the premises with the bottles, so she hid them under her shirt
Oh,
when she
man.
walked out with them.
And we were sitting
That
there,
is awesome.
and people were going back and forth, and we're seeing people leaving and coming to the beach, and we saw. John knows what I'm talking about. We saw this couple, and just a normal couple, but the thing that stood out was this woman had a fat ass.
She had the biggest
It was-
butt I've ever seen.
Bam! Like, it was about like maybe 2 of these on each side. That's how big.
God.
That guy could have like
He could have sat on it.
yeah.
and
Instead of
rode
him
on it.
walking to the beach with her, he could have sat on her butt and just went with her.
What if she had a problem, John?
She might have, guys.
I don't know.
I'm sure she was a nice woman.
She wasn't
I'm not saying
overweight
she
or
was a bad
anything.
one.
She
No,
just had
she
a
had-
big ass.
She had a big old butt.
She had the juicy booty. I mean, that's probably why he was with her. That just pops out every time I think of that trip.
Justin look.
Justin is very disapproving of anything we say, so we should just continue talking about the good time that we had. And he
Justin
didn't.
doesn't want
John
juicy
jumps
booty.
to conclusions.
I'm just listening, guys. Come on.
And
Jeez.
then we went
Jeez.
to then we went to this little. It's kind of like a strip mall type thing.
Yeah, we walked around that place a lot.
Yeah, we just walked all the way down this boardwalk type area.
Zach's mom bought me a keychain, and it was supposed to have my name on it, but it was spelled wrong.
It's for Jon.
And she gets really mad anytime I don't have it, so I keep it on my keys. I don't know where my keys are.
And she got
Right
me
here.
a keychain that had my name on it, but it was spelled ZACH.
She couldn't even remember her own son's name.
I think she had a few too many that day. But yeah, we went around, we went to a bunch of little surf shops and whatnot. And then I saw a street magician perform some magic.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. We gave him like $10 because he blew my mind.
Yeah, he said he needed like money for a bus ticket or get somewhere. Which
Yeah,
was
he
probably
probably-
a lie.
He probably needed
But
drugs
he
or
did some
something.
good magic, and I appreciate good magic tricks. So I gave him some money.
Yeah,
That was nice of you.
But
we probably fueled his drug addiction, but
Maybe he got somewhere he needed to be,
maybe,
though.
but maybe
Maybe
he needed to go somewhere.
can't jump to conclusions
Yeah, I
on
don't
that.
know.
But the worst part of that trip, though, was how the Blazer was driving.
Oh.
Like, had something wrong with it to where sometimes it wouldn't even go over 45.
And we were driving down a 75-mile-an-hour road, and everybody's like going past us, blowing their horn, and we're like,
It wouldn't like kick into another gear. It would just stop, and eventually it would kick into another gear if you were lucky, and
Yep.
then we'd be able to actually go fast.
I like to go fast.
We made it there in a pretty good time. Just,
Yeah.
like, it was like a 4 hour trip, and we made it there in like 2.5 hours.
That's awesome.
Because we only stopped once.
Wow.
Yeah, we get where we need to go.
Yep.
But that's what I would
Thank
say.
So Justin,
Probably the funnest time.
Zach just finished his most fun time that he's ever had.
What was the most fun you've ever had, Justin?
The most fun I've ever had.
Okay.
And this is how we're going to end the show.
I'd say in the topics, we'll probably have like some.
Playing The Last of Us.
Oh.
Bye, everybody.
That's it.
No, but seriously, thank you for joining us. This was our first podcast, first of many.
Yep.
We're going to get so much better at these.
Well, this was good.
Oh, I think so. I'm not
Oh,
dissing
yeah.
anything at all. I mean, Zach's storytelling just blew my
Yeah.
mind. I'm like, man, I was kind of worthless with that.
Your eyes are saying I diss hard.
No, that was just like that was really good stuff, and I appreciate you guys letting me have this format, and we will see you guys next week.
Thanks for joining
Bye.
us.
You're pretty good.